Hey everybody, it is your favorite two hosts, of course, from Bears of a Certain Age. It's Jonny, and
it's Scott. How we doing, guys?
It's been a long day. Scott forgot what his name was, and then it's been a long.
It's been a day. I'm telling you.
I feel like my schedule isn't gonna kill me. I just look at yours, and there it is.
I told you off air, I'm very lucky where I'm kind of semi-retired, and poor Jonny works minimum of 40 plus hours a week at the day job before the other. And so for the last couple of weeks, I've been working 16 hours a week, and it's killing me. I don't know how you do 40.
Well,
oh my God.
Then you pack in 80 interviews. That's what gets me. I'm always like, tell them no, we'll do it in a few weeks. There's a lot. But this is an exciting day, not only because this is Valentine's week, so this is your very own Valentine's show, people, but this is premiere for us of season 2.
Season 2, everybody. Thanks for letting us come back for season 2. We had such great response to season 1 that we kind of had to come back, it's right? Great. I like it.
I love saying season or what do they say in Britain? Cycle 2. I love it because it makes me feel very accomplished that we have done this.
We did a good 20 episodes, I think, last season, too. I think that's a good mix. I mean, a month and a half off was kind of nice. As busy as we are, it was kind of nice to have that 6 weeks or so off. And 20 episodes is half a year. We might do a little more, but I think if we shoot for 20 and we give them some bonus, I think that's fun.
We're going to be doing a lot more stuff anyways this year.
Exactly.
So this is how you do it. You know what I mean? So you do live stuff, you do travel, so it's fun. And I love talking to all of our new fans. You guys are finding us on Instagram, of course, and you're participating, which I love even more. And I know on Facebook, I'll put up things on different like bear rooms and bear groups. Everybody's so great. They all want to participate, which is what we need. It's the new social.
Everybody wants to hang with the bears. I mean, that's the place to be these days. Hanging with the bears.
Exactly.
Bears got the best of me. Bears on my fantasy. Bears ain't what I like. We do it all night, all right. Bears that don't discriminate. I take a carbon chop to circumnavigate. Steal my heart and let it percolate all night, all right. Bears ain't what I like. We do it all night, all right. Bears.
Listen, I'm all for it. So we're about to have some really. Speaking of hanging with the bears. We're going to talk a little bit. We put out some questions for this show, and one of it is basically what beautiful crushes you have of people that you want to hang with, and I'm sure do more with. And people had a lot of opinions, and so we picked the top 4 of these people. But can I tell you, listen, as much as I'm in the pop culture because we interview all these people, I don't always know. But I'll know them by face. You know what I mean? And I think we start at the bottom and go up. We'll reveal number 1 at the end of this list.
I like that. I mean, it's very exciting. We talked about it last season, and unfortunately, you and I talked so much we didn't get back to our little segments that we had. But people have been really reaching out and doing the bear hugs and letting people know they're thinking about them, asking the bears for advice because we love giving advice.
Yeah.
It could be shitty as hell, but we love giving it. We'll keep giving it to you.
I was like, I don't know if we're qualified, but we know how to give our opinions.
Exactly.
You can let us know after if it was good, bad, or the ugly for it. But yeah.
Exactly. Put it in the comments. Let us know. Say, wow, I followed that advice and spot on, or followed that advice and my divorce is in June. That's okay. We'll do that.
Exactly. Can I tell you, I don't know if it's the season or as we're in Valentine's week, I know a lot of people getting divorced right now. And I'm like, I guess that's normal. You know what I mean? But it is funny because we're focusing on Valentine's and dating. And can I just say, okay, so he's probably going to watch this. I am seeing this very sweet man But I'm like, so for those of us that do this, you gotta be willing to put in the investment of time. When I think sometimes I'm like, I really want to just go to sleep. Can I just go to sleep? Oh, you want to talk? Okay, we can talk. And I'm just kidding. When you're watching this, love talking to you. But I'm just saying, I'm a lot to handle, and I'm busy as hell.
Everything's a compromise. We have to give, we have to take,
Right?
and it's especially true in Valentine's week, but
Right.
all year long in dating. And it does happen after the holidays are stressful for everybody. You do seem to see a lot of breakups and a lot of things happening after the holidays because it's just a stressful time for a couple
And
months.
those ones that hung on so well, we had a lot of divorces after the pandemic, and I feel like a lot of these are the ones that thought they'd give it a go, and now they're like, we're good. So still pandemic divorces happening.
You can only spend so much time. Like I said, it's great if you can talk, but you need that time apart. I mean, people that run businesses together and things, I think that's very, very difficult.
Right?
So yeah, you need to.
And
you need to have that away time.
More power to them. That's all I have to say. So it works. This lovely gentleman doesn't live in my town, and I thought that's probably the only way we're going to figure this out. You got to do what you got to do. Is all I'm saying.
There you go. It's always nice to have that little bit of distance to make the heart grow. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, as they say, right?
So I have a question for you. Who is your the ultimate bear crush, or just crush that you have when you look around?
Let's see. Who do? Boy, so many great people that I'm really crushing on. Who I started crushing after last season was who is the singer that we interviewed? I've been following his Instagram like crazy.
Not Colton, but
Cole.
Cole. Did we ever?
Ben Cole. Benjamin. I've been following him like crazy. He is so much fun. And I kind of have a little crush on him.
And it's hard not to. That man, and he's also so sweet. If we comment from our Bears page on him, he always makes sure he wants to say something nice. Yeah, he's so charming. So charming. And he wears as little clothing as possible. I'm like,
exactly, which is always
right.
Nice.
And he just embraces it all. He went to something called Bear Dip. No, I don't know what that is, but it's a bear group that
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, he's having a good old time. I'm like, so Benjamin Cole, people who don't know him, go check him out on Instagram. He has a fun page. He also has an album out. He's just a fun guy.
And then Danny and I have been going back and forth on social media a lot. He's been posting a lot. What's Danny's last name from?
I know who you're talking
from
about.
Mean Girls and everything.
Starts with an F. Frenzy.
Yeah, there you go, Frenzy. He's been posting a lot of stuff lately, and I've been commenting on it, and he keeps liking and saying back and saying little things back, and so it's been kind of a fun little flirty thing going on there too. So I really like Dan Franzese as well.
Wait, we're going to be down that way in the future. Are you going to set up a little meet and greet for you?
I'm going to have him come down. I'm going to try to have him come down for the show. We'll see what happens. I would like.
He can start with the show, and then you guys can see what happens.
Exactly.
I love that. He's a sweetheart. Yeah, very much a sweetheart. So, listen, we have to have a double. Our show serves many purposes, and this can be one of them.
There you go. What better way to get ourselves out there, right? Just kind of let people know.
Love it.
Exactly.
So we put out a call, and we said, "Hey guys, who are your favorite crushes?" Bear crushes, we didn't want to put any, it didn't have to be a bear, although we are here. And so people came in and they were voting, basically. And so we put the top 4, and I admit I had to make sure I looked them up. Not because I don't recognize.
I did too. I did the same thing because I'd heard of a couple names, but I couldn't picture a face to them, so I had to look them up myself.
And so what's fun about this is when this goes up, the notorious Kurt is going to put the pictures in. So you will see who we are talking about. But let's go with drum roll of the number 4 slot is Dean Norris. He's an actor. He was in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, 2 amazing shows. So Dean Norris got a lot of votes. So he is number 4. You guys have a big crush on him. So we'll put Dean's socials in this video so you can go follow him and see if you also think that he's your
I thought we were going to put his social security and email. I was getting all excited for a second. It's like, ooh, okay, Dean.
We're going to talk to this poor man. No, and so
nice.
We support them, and we want you all to go find them. And some of y'all really like your picks. So I'm sure other activities are going on, but, to each their own.
Number 3, HGTV. I'm a huge fan of HGTV. I'm not handy myself, but I love a man who is handy. So that's very nice. And Ben Napier from HGTV got a lot of votes too. Number 3 in the poll. Very excited for that. Hometown is his show.
He's so sexy. He is so sexy. I really enjoy him very much.
Yes, and I like him a lot.
And that was the other thing. So we would get more than just actors being nominated. So if I hadn't, I needed to go, but I've seen this show. So, everybody is up. So now I believe, is he of the heterosexual variety? I believe so.
I believe he is of the heterosexual variety.
Which we don't care, because in my world, everything's on a spectrum. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Fluidity is a beautiful thing out there in many ways.
When you're on any media or TV, any fan is a wonderful fan.
Exactly. And if we get real lucky, they start an OnlyFans, right? You never know.
We don't know. I have to say, and this is no shade to the next person. I didn't know I had to look up and kind of read up on this next person, but we're number 2. This person got more votes than the last 2 and the ones that we haven't mentioned. Dennis Kohlruss, I think. And someone had to tell me, he is a German strongman. Yeah, and strongman is a big thing. And if you are into that, boy, that group that loves them. Yeah. It's quite interesting. But he is a good-looking man.
He is. I had to look him up. Had no idea who it was. Very good looking man. And I can understand where he got those votes for. He's from Germany, so it's he must be in a lot of magazines or something, because he hasn't really come across my radar that much.
I would like to find out how strong he is. So,
I'll do pull-ups on his bicep. What the heck? Sure.
I'll hang on it to see if I can, do a little pull-up.
And then number 1, Kevin Chamberlain, fantastic actor and pretty dang not too hard to look at.
Not at all. And he hangs out with 2 people that we both follow, I believe. One is a friend of yours. He did that young man he just did Rocky Horror live in L.A. Yeah.
Garrett Clayton.
Yeah. And they hang out and they'll do videos together. And they're the sweetest. It's so
Aren't
cute.
They?
To see them. So he's with him a lot, and also Harvey.
Harvey Gillen, who's another one that I have a little crush on. Ever since that convention, I always knew about him a bit, but we had such a sweet talk at the convention in Columbus that, I have a new respect and new little love for Harvey Gillen.
So I have always known of Kevin Chamberlain, but I swear he keeps popping up in different people's photos. So I'm like, and a lot lately, which is why I recognized him beyond his acting. It's crazy. So people love him. And when I say he was number 1, it's because people are very excited and adore this man. He got the most votes of everyone. And that means people are...
Number 1 with a bullet.
Yeah, people are emailing me to let me know. I'm like, okay, calm down. We got your vote. Commenting, which says a lot for Mr. Chamberlain. Kevin, if you're watching, we would love to have you. We would.
Come on, we would love to have you. We'd even interview you. What the heck? Come on down.
Exactly. we should design a little award that you got our top 5. I'll deliver it. It's fine.
I love that. We need to have our first podcast awards sometime soon. Maybe we
can.
That's another thing we can do. We're thinking of.
I know. I love it. Do you know? Speaking of podcast, because we chase bunnies here, as my dad would say. Every once in a while, something comes in my head. But did you know? So I was looking at some of the award shows that I forget that. I was looking at you can submit your podcast to like the Webbies or, all these. It costs a lot of money to just submit. $1,500 to submit. I'm like, okay, I got you. So that's after.
I did that back in the day when I first started my podcast. There was, what were the awards? There was maybe it was podcastawards.com or something like that. But they had the podcast awards, and it was a $15 entry fee to enter. And I thought, all right, maybe it's something you have to do. So I did it the first time. And then, of course, I got nominated, which was nice for my listeners. And then I don't think I won. I came in one of the places, but it's like you had to buy your own trophy at the end too. It's like, well, what did I put money in for if I'm buying my own trophy? And so a lot of these things are very rigged. They kind of bring you in. We have these great celebrity people that are going to be listening to your podcast and judging these things. I don't do any of that anymore. I refuse.
I wish it was $15. I really do. The prices have skyrocketed. So I guess we'll just have to be super huge on our own. And then
and there's a lot of people that seem to be winning those the same over and over again too, so I think they might just are used to submitting themselves, and there's just so many, such a you don't know what the pool is, so it's nice. I mean, it's always nice to get recognized in some way, but that's not one of the ways I choose to be recognized. So.
And if you talk to Barbara Streisand, who I just finished her book, she hates the awards, not because they're not nice, but because they have nothing to do with the work, really. Because of everything that goes on behind the scenes. So, Barbara, we hear you, girl. We hear you.
You made it through your 1,000 pages. I'm very impressed.
So good. So good. It's so good that when it was over, I was like, it can't be over. I was so sad. It's amazing. Aww. I'm listening to Mel Brooks's autobiography. Because
that's got to be amazing.
So good. Can I tell you, I just finished last week Harvey Fierstein. Oh my God, that's brilliant. So good.
I've heard about that. I've been introduced to Harvey Fierstein. I can't say that I met him in it. I've been introduced to him very quick, very in and out thing. So I can't say I know him at all. I can barely say I met him. I was introduced to Harvey Fierstein. But it's still just his presence. Yes. His presence is amazing. Yeah. And
his book.
And he's done so much.
You can learn. I learned so much just listening to him talk about his whole experience in the entertainment industry. Yeah, now I always loved him. Now I love him even more. So there. Okay, so there.
That was one of my very first, and I'm going to talk about I want to talk about Valentine movies and things in the beginning, but one of my very first LGBT movies was Torch Song Trilogy with Jen and Matthew Broderick.
Me too.
And I didn't see many. I mean, I was still closeted when that was out and everything, so I was kind of sneaking out to get it, to watch it. But that was one of the first ones that I took the time to go see, and I really loved that.
It was brilliant. It was when I just came out, someone introduced that to me, and it's just beautifully done. And I hear nothing but amazing things about the original Broadway play. It had Estelle Getty in it, so yeah, I loved the movie, but apparently the play was even better. But before, that was like our own version of Bear Hugs, which we'll do at the end of the show.
Right. But I want to finish up one thing, though, because you just said Estelle Getty, and we talked about books we're reading. I'm so excited. My friend, and you know him well, Stan Zimmerman's new book comes out the day after this airs, February 13th, called The Girls from Golden to Gilmore. Talks about all of his writing the very first season of Golden Girls and writing on Gilmore Girls and Roseanne, and him and his partner Jim, writing partner, wrote the Brady Bunch movies and everything. And I got a sneak peek of his memoir about this, and I read it the other day and had him on the show. It's such a fun book. If you like the Golden Girls, you like the Gilmore Girls, it's a read you got to see. It comes out the day after our podcast.
And who doesn't love, I love what they did with the Brady Bunch movies. It was just brilliant. It was brilliant. We needed some camp, and they delivered so well. So, I want to read that book. So that'll be...
It's a great book. I recommend it highly to everybody. Like I said, I got to read it a couple weeks ago, and it's just amazing. And Stan always has the best story. I always tease Stan that I just want a piece of his carpet, because he's had so many people read his different shows and plays at his home and do little stage readings before he brought him out to everything. And I remember for Silver Foxes, which is his play he wrote based on Golden Girls for Guys, he had in the reading at his home, he had Bruce Valanche, he had Sherry O'Terry, he had Leslie Jordan. He had George Takei. Just like he brings all these great people to read his stuff. And I said, I just want a piece of your carpeting. Whenever you move, cut me a little square. I'm going to frame it and put it on my wall.
Exactly. So crazy. And I love good read-throughs. And I was really hoping that that version would take off because I love all those actors. Bruce Valanche can do no wrong in my mind. He's a great writer, too. Love that man.
Oh, so
what do you think about giving some advice?
I'm all about giving advice. Like I said, let's go for it. We had a couple of good questions. I thought there were some very good questions, and we'll try to give as insightful answer as possible.
And not just gay guys, people. Even our lovely lesbian sisters watch our show.
Anybody, we welcome all listeners and all questions from all of our different listeners.
Exactly.
So
we have this first one is, I'm a newly out of the closet lesbian who's trying to date and finding it very difficult. I'm a hit the ground running sort of gal. I thought I'd get the Bears' thoughts on this. So what is your first take on it?
I always think, and there's another one on here that I kind of feel the same way that we're going to get to in a minute, but I think when you're looking to find new people, you need to put yourself out there. Right. And she says she's a go-getter, so she seems like she does that already. But you need to go find where the guys and the gals are. And I think the best way to do that in a very non-threatening way is to volunteer somewhere. Volunteer at your Pride Center, volunteer at your affirming church, volunteer at the girls' softball league, volunteer at the guys' Stonewall Democrats for politics, if that's what you're into. Find an interest that you're into and go find a place you can go meet them and volunteer or just hang out in a fun, friendly setting.
Right.
And I think there's enough of those groups in all the cities, you can always find something.
And if it's not in your city, there's somewhere city adjacent that you're going to find those things. My question, so in reading it, I'm curious, I wonder about how new you're out of the closet. Because remember, you don't have to start dating right away. Maybe get to know your community. Maybe allow yourself some time. Because if there's that, I'm out now, I need, there's a little bit of desperation. I need to find that. Maybe relaxing and easing into it. And do you know who you are as a lesbian yet? Do you understand what? So I would worry about that because I know what it's like to be a hit the ground running sort of gal. And, sometimes you forget to pause and just make sure. So, I don't know, maybe she's been out a while, but if you're just out and that's your goal, here's the thing, shocker for everybody. We all know, there is so much more to being a queer person, to being gay, than, who I'm going to sleep with or date. So, you really need to be able to embrace all of you, and the rest is going to come. You don't have to be in a hurry. And it could happen like that, but don't force it. That's what I would say.
Exactly. Get a little exercise, start walking around the LGPA tours. You get to know some people.
Exactly.
Catch a good tennis match. You never know. If you're a sporty lesbian, there's some great sports you can follow too.
Exactly. So that was what we would say to you if you're watching and you've gotten this answer and you want to give us a little update. Please feel free to email us. We'd love to hear.
Please do. Yeah. We want to know. Like Jonny said, only do it if you're ready. Don't do it because you have
to. Exactly. So what's our next one?
Let's see. We also have here. Let me pull it up. I got it in different places here. All right. So I'm a man of a certain age, aren't we all here? I've had a few serious relationships, but I've been single now for about 5 years. I think I'm pretty guarded, but I'm trying to date and be open again. My friends think I shut people down too fast. What are your thoughts on how to be more open? How do you think he can be more
He
open?
might be asking the wrong bear, because talk about shutting guys down fast. I mentioned earlier that, I'm exploring currently, and I have been told 18,000 times that if someone drinks their coffee wrong, I'll break up. But I would say I love that man of a certain age. We're going to assume they're our age. I would say the only way to kind of take down your guardedness is to just do it. Like, just go out, and every time you feel like running, just give it one more date. I mean, unless the guy has so many red flags that, you're going to end up in jail. Give it one more date. Just allow yourself to relax into it, because this sounds like they're probably like me, and you get anxiety. You know what I mean? You put all of that on yourself. And so you're going to have to breathe through it and let yourself, see what happens. Men our age are automatically going to be jaded. You know what? If we're still single, we probably have some experiences. So, you have to let yourself ease back into it.
Right. And that's exactly, this is the one I think where I talked about before. I think you need to put yourself out there. If you want to be open, you need to go do some stuff. Do stuff that you enjoy, volunteer places you enjoy, and they're going to naturally come to you. Exactly. If you're doing something that you enjoy, working with people that are at least doing an event, like, if you love hiking, find a hiking club. If it's a mixed hiking club, right, and you never know who you're going to meet, other friends are going to meet other friends, and it just put yourself to be open. You don't have to be open all the way out there. You just need to kind of let yourself kind of gradually find things that you like. What are you attracted to doing for leisure and for fun and in your downtime?
See, because I feel like that's, of our generation, that's what it was. You went out and you hope to find people that enjoy the same activity. And I think a lot of the new generations, because we're so married to our socials, they don't think about those things. But I'm right there with you. And if this person is a man of a certain age, then I think that's something that would resonate with, you know what I mean? Go talk about softball. There's gay guy softball leagues out there too. Go do that. If you're active, I want to find a watch TV club. And then...
Exactly. Now, how do we conquer and get over the shutting people down too fast? Have you ever caught yourself doing that? Do you have ways to cope with that you've started creating?
For me, you have to be self-aware. You have to know, because like I was saying earlier, if I'm talking to someone, there's no logical reason to want it to end. I'll notice that right away I'm backing off, knowing it's just to go hide in my house. There are no real reasons. You have to be able to recognize your signs, and then just breathe, and internally, don't say it to the guy. Internally, just have this agreement that, no, I need to keep giving him a chance. You know what I mean? You will really know when you need to give no more chances. But if you can tell it's just you pulling away, then stop being a diva and just go. Just enjoy it. Because none of us are getting out of this life alive, so you know what I mean?
Exactly. And if you can't do it yourself, I'm all for therapy these days. So you can do teletherapy. You can find out what the root causes are. You might have some root causes why you tend to shut people down. Exactly. And if you're open to that kind of thing, I think there's so many ways. Mental health is starting to finally get talked about again. And good mental health isn't a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're a wackadoodle crazy like it used to be. It means that you're practicing self-love and taking care of yourself, and you see things that you need to work on, like shutting people down too fast, and you talk through it with somebody. And I think there's so many great ways to do that online these days or over the phone. So that's something to look at as well.
And I practice self-love a lot, and it's really helpful. I have most of our watchers, I guarantee, also practice self-love. Well, let's get to the last advice question. And it says, I've been married to my husband for 26 wonderful years. I don't even know how. That's amazing. Like, you go. As we have gotten older, his sex drive has dipped and mine has not. I love him and do not want this to hurt us, but I need more sex. need more now more than ever and need it more than he does. How do we address this? This is a true I've been married a long time question. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. No.
That's hard.
I can tell you, I mean, this is to get serious for a bit on this guy. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a couple things that you can think of that I think of off the bat on this. And it depends what your definition of sex is. When you say his sex drive is down, does that mean he doesn't need to get off?
Right.
If that's the case, then what about having him give you massages? How about having him play with some toys with you?
Right.
How about doing something that's not really in the act with him, but it helps you kind of settle those urges that you have? So for some serious things, I have a lot of funny answers too, but for a serious
No, but
answer,
it's true.
I think you need to find ways that you can let him help you with your sex drive. That doesn't necessarily mean, quote, going to Pound Town from him.
It reminds me of the Bill Clinton days when this idea that the definition of sex, that was the big thing. Well, here's the thing. Like you just said, sex doesn't have to mean these specific acts. You know what I mean? The other thing I would say is there are some amazing sex therapists out there. So maybe talk to a really good sex therapist. Shout out to all y'all doing that work. Because sometimes that can help, and they can help give you ideas that maybe you guys can't think of because it's never been in your realm, like the definitions of sex changing.
Right.
For some people, it is valid for them to explore different types of relationships, and that means, is it going to take open? I'm not the guy that can tell you whether that's good for you or not, but put all of the pieces on the table and together communicate and find out what's going to work for you. Because if you put in 26 years, there's a way. You're going to find a way to keep it working. Because that's beautiful. I could probably I'm still young enough to have a 26-year marriage. So,
there you go. I agree.
Old, but, so I would say don't shut down. Continue to communicate. And if you need to talk to someone, there are amazing therapists out there that deal with sexual issues. Do it. Like if you want to say
that's the biggest issue. Like you said, communication is the key to everything. What type of relationship you have, what you want to have, and then being open to trying new things. Like I said, trying different toys, trying different ways that you kind of pleasure each other. Things. I mean, there's. And
I'm sure you want to spice it up, anyways. You've had probably similar sex for 26 years, so it'll be great to give it a little.
Exactly right.
So first of all, thank you to everyone who sent in questions. Please let us know if you feel comfortable. Let us know. How did the advice go? How is it going for you now? Because it'll probably be a few weeks since we've heard from you. We would love to know how life is. If you need suggestions for like sex therapists, I know I have interviewed many over the years. We give you a suggestion, and you can try that. Whatever you need, reach out to the Bears.
Do you know your love language? That's such a big thing that we talk about a lot of times, and especially at Valentine's Day. Do you know what your love language is?
Well, I don't know what the official name is, but I know acts of service is important to me. I'm all about thoughtful. I don't need the money. I don't need any of flashy. I don't need any of that. If you made back in the day a mix CD and left it on my car, oh fuck, then forever it'll be the best sex you had. Because I love when people think about you. And so they know you enough that they know what gift is going to matter to you. I could care less about flowers or chocolate. You know what I mean? That's not my thing.
Right.
Yeah. But you had a lot of statistics about flowers and chocolate.
There's quite a bit. I mean, it makes sense in Valentine's Day. It goes through, it's a $1 billion industry. Yeah. But I think that when you start talking about things like that, talking about relationships and how to improve those, talk about love languages. I'm a very touchy-feely guy. You put your hand on the small of my back while we're walking down the street, and same
I
thing.
like them to
you have.
Yeah,
me.
I like them to put their hand a little lower, but yeah, I'm right there with you.
There you go. Exactly. And right in that back pocket there. I like
Exactly.
it.
But yeah, affection, like PDA for some of us, that's a beautiful, sweet thing. Yeah. And it's also important
Right.
to understand what your partner's love language is. Because it's different than yours. That's what relationships are all about. It's fun that way. But I wanted to say,
Right.
before we get into bear hugs, you had mentioned something at the beginning about some of your favorite Valentine's movies or lovey romantic crappy movies. Sorry. These are not mine.
Yes, exactly. I love a good mushy movie. I love a romantic tale. And there's been quite a few over the years, I think, of good and bad. Um, I my very favorite of all time, I don't know if you ever saw it, was Beautiful Thing, an English film
A
back in
good movie, yeah.
1996.
Yeah.
And
Great
I think
soundtrack.
just my two favorite movies are kind of polar opposites, but kind of in the same love vein. I love Beautiful Thing and I love Trick, where they're
Really good.
trying to hook up the entire
Yeah.
time. So it still kind of has that love thing and they kind of get a deeper relationship
Yeah.
as they go through. So those are like two of my favorite. They're a little old school. I mean, newer school. I thought that Fire Island was excellent a couple
Oh
of
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago, back in 2022. Fire Island did a very good job. Um, Newer ones, yeah. I guess Bros was
Oh,
okay. I
I like
wasn't as
that.
impressed with that as I wanted to be. It was
Yeah.
fun, but anything Scott McFarlane does, I
Right.
love. But yeah. So, what about you? Do you have any movies that you?
I despise romantic movies. I just I am just not a fan, but I'll tell you, Kurt, the producer back here, is obsessed with like mushy Hallmark, all that junk. I hate it. I hate it. But he will love that. Same with Christmas. You know what I mean? So I don't love it. I'm trying to think of one that I might have sort of liked. And I'm sure if I let myself watch it and enjoy it, I might, but I don't like to watch romance because as guys learn when they date me, I don't believe it. So I don't trust it. Someone's gonna, so I don't think I even know one. I can't even think of one off the top of my head. I enjoyed Bros. I made myself watch it because I wanted to, and it was good. Um, it was a great way for mainstream Hollywood to finally let us in, but it was funny, and that's what saved it for me.
There
You know
you
what I
go.
mean?
And that's more of definitely than the romantic comedy kind of thing. So you have the comedy elements to it, which
Exactly.
draws a lot
Because
to
how
it.
much do you hate? I mean, basically, the formula is you're just walking down the street, and oh my god, I tripped and I spilled my coffee all over you, and now let's get married. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, I mean, and it's funny because we've talked a lot about this last year that how much I love a good
Yeah.
Christmas movie and everything.
Yeah.
But even to me this year, they're getting so formulaic. There's only so many coffee shops,
Thank
candle
you.
shops, bakeries that you can meet
Yeah.
in and still have the same story over and over again. I love the actors in them. They're
Yeah.
fun, but it's like, I'm starting to get a little over the
Yeah.
stories. They're just a little
Yeah. It's too much.
too repetitious. And I think romantic movies can tend to be that kind
Yeah.
of a thing.
And Jonathan Bennett, did you see he had an interview because he's going to go to Broadway. He's very excited, but he did a interview, and he said in the interview that all of the Christmas and Hallmarky movies he has done actually helped to heal him from heartache. And I'm like, that's very sweet, and I love that for him. I love that now he's going to Broadway. But I'm like, no, no, thank you.
I think his husband healed that for him. He has a very good husband.
Yes,
So
very, and they're very sweet, and his husband's very good looking. But they're
they
very,
are very sweet. They're very opposite, which is what I
very,
love. I think they really fit each other
yeah,
well, but because they really do counter each other.
yeah,
Jonathan is just off the wall, fly guy crazy,
yeah.
and James is very even
See,
keel. So it's very
that's
funny to
what should
watch.
happen in life. Keeps it balanced. But while we wind down from the very first show of the second season of Bears of a Certain Age, first of all, we're so glad you all are watching and are interested, apparently, because you're very involved. Let's give out one of the things we started doing, and actually we've had pretty good participation. This time we got a lot of participation, so we're going to spread out the bear hugs for a few shows. But we got some bear hugs. You guys wanted to share some gratitude with people in your life, and we love to give out some positivity. So what do you think? Should we go for it?
I think we should. I think we have 2 more days to Valentine's Day. I hope you guys all have a great time if you have a friend, a lover, or whatever. But there's never a bad time to give someone a little bear hug, right? Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know that you just appreciate them in whatever way. And it could be a straight ally. It could be a friend. It could be whatever it happens to be. It doesn't have to be necessarily to a gay bear of a certain age. It can be to anybody. We just want to hear who you're appreciative of in your life. Who you're appreciative
this first one is someone who follows us on our Instagram, which is very sweet. Says, hey guys, I would like to send a special shout out to my baby brother from another mother, Dr. Unicub _ Sex Brain Wizard. That's quite a name. He is my
I like that name.
He is my best friend. And I would love to tell him how much I appreciate him and that I am grateful every single day to have him in my life. Love you, baby brother. I looked him up since he gave us his tag. He's a sex therapist. So there you go. Find that.
Sex Brain Wizard. That's a good therapist. Sex Brain Wizard's a good handle for a therapist. I like that.
So thank you for
The next one's very sweet. Speaking of long-time relationships, happy anniversary to Marty and Gary. 19 years ago, they met at a bar called Dempsey's. Who knew they'd be meeting each other's soulmates? They've been together ever since. So congratulations on 19 years, Marty and Gary. That's amazing.
And to still call each other soulmates. That's very sweet. Right?
Yes.
There's hope. There's hope for all of us.
Agreed.
I love that. Let's do one more and then save the... We want you to keep sending them in, people. Every time we do our show, we would love to send some gratitude out. So I would say...
It's a great way to finish off the show, to send gratitude out there.
A bear hug for everyone that survived January, because it was a month. And that was Tanner. And January did last about 2 years. So, you know.
It did.
Yeah.
And of course, after January lasts for 1,300 years, then you have February, the one February that has the extra day every 4 years. So we get an extra day in February this year. It's leap year, boys and girls.
And hopefully it's all because we need to cram in extra amazingness into that extra day. That's what we want. January did not cooperate, and it just was long and hard. And typically we like that, but not for the month of January. So... Maybe this is a better
Exactly.
month.
There's a time and a place for everything. There's definitely a time and place for long and hard.
Yeah.
Well, Jonny, this has been so much fun coming back again. I'm excited we got to talk. Thank you, listeners, for sending in all these great comments and questions. Keep on doing it. We got some special announcements next week, Jonny. It's going to be fun.
It'll be amazing. Love it. So I guess you're going to have to all tune in to find out what that special announcement is. Some of you might already know if you follow Scott on Instagram. So that's the fun Easter egg. There's been Easter eggs out there. You have to look. So, but I guess until next time, my friend, we will see everyone.
There you go. Keep those letters coming. Podcastbears@gmail.com. DM us in any of there. You can use our social media. Reach out to us. Touch us in that very special way. We love it. Jonny, talk to you later, my friend. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's Scott from Bears of a Certain Age. Surplus is here, the new gay dating app exclusively for us mature men. Jonny and I are excited to have them as our premier community brand partner right here on Bears of a Certain Age. On the Surplus app, where older is always bolder, available now on both Apple and Android phones. We hope you'll join us where you can get the app so you can meet the man.
Bears got the best of me, said